Man, I had very ambitious plans this morning to dive for scallops, sea urchins, and fish, but it was way too rough. Somehow now, 2 hours later, after I've eaten a gigantic burrito, a whole cookie, and drank a bunch of aloe juice, the water has cleared up. Not really sure if I'm going to be able to keep this burrito down, so just in case I don't, I brought my little rod. I can fish from the top of the water. I'm diving with my friend Alex today. He has a YouTube channel called Seasons to Taste, but he hasn't posted on it in over 4 years, I think. So that would be so funny if you guys go check out his channel. I don't even want him to hear me talking about it and just put some comments on it, because it was a pretty good channel back in the day. Seasons to Taste. Before we go out, I'm going to rig up a couple swim baits. These are 4.8 inch Bass Pro, kind of look like Kitex. This is a 1/2 ounce jig head with a nice size hook. I'm starting to sell these too, so I got them in stock finally. 1/2 ounce, 1 ounce, and 1.5 ounce with a long shank hook. So check that out at Fisherman's Life. And before I forget, the Fisherman's Life Street Fair is happening July 13th. I always forget to mention it, but it's going to be at the same place at Stonestown in San Francisco. So I'm going to rig up, get everything ready to go so I don't have to do anything in the water. I'm putting a few swim baits in there. I'm also going to put this jig in there, and that should be enough fishing gear. That goes in here. I'll attach my float to the bag, and if I do see any sea urchin or scallops, I'll pry them off with this bar, and I'll attach that to the bottom of this float line. Whew. I might have 5 dives in me before that burrito starts moving. If you've ever dove with a open cell wetsuit, then you probably know this secret already, but man, this stuff is so sticky against your skin that it's nearly impossible, if not impossible, to put it on without some kind of lubrication. So what a lot of people do, they'll take some water with some hair conditioner in it, and they'll just pour a little bit over the rubber type material in the wetsuit and just move it around. It just makes it lubricate way easier and slide onto your skin so much easier. I like to pour a little in the arm, close up the other side, and swish it around. Sometimes the arms are kind of hard to get to. When you go diving or do any type of foraging, is to call the biotoxin hotline. If I do catch any scallops, they advise only keeping the white meat and discarding all the viscera, which are the guts and all that stuff. So if you're putting on a wetsuit, especially open cell, you want to put your head through first, then your arms, and it'll all pull through. You'll be a little claustrophobic at first, but once you get your head through, it's not too bad. And this here is a 7mm wetsuit. That's the only way we'll stay warm and floating in Northern California, 55-degree water. So I got 20 pounds of lead I'll wear around my waist, and that'll allow me to dive down if I so choose to. Long fins also help a lot. You can buy the cheap ones if you're just getting started with. They're about 40 bucks, but when you get into the long ones, these come out to be about 100 to 150 for the composite ones. When you go to the carbon fiber, they're like 300 to 400. And if you got any type of walking or hike to do, these neoprene boots, waterproof boots, make it so much easier. Or you can wear Crocs, something where your feet aren't going to get tore up. All right, it's time. See you in the water. So you want to just stick to this side over here?
Yep, that works.
Okay.
I gotta tell you, your hot tub video is hilarious. I don't think people know how hard it is to get to that spot.
Oh, that hot tub one? Yeah, that was a tough one.
You know, when you get to the bottom of that hill, all that metal, there's 2 shipwrecks down there.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're old ones, like 1850s wrecks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Could you see them at low tide or no?
I mean, just that debris that's kind of in that cobble when you come down that hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Good luck out there.
All right, I'll try to stay out of your way.
We'll be out of your way. like no fish.
Oh yeah. No visibility.
Ready to go? Get back.
But we do maritime archaeology,
Oh.
like so underwater archaeology, like the shipwrecks and all the landing
yeah.
ports that were here and stuff. You see artifacts, metal stuff.
Who do they contact if they see that?
The Nautical Research Society.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, schooners.org. If you see something, say hey.
Well, not a successful dive, but the show must go on, so we'll see what happens next. At least we tried. Next time. All right, see ya. Got some anchovies. I got a 9'4" travel rod, and I think I see someone I recognize. Got the whole cooler. Oh no.
What's up, man?
What's up?
You almost died.
For real. How?
No, I mean, I almost got stuck on the cliff. Both my quads started cramping pretty bad. So I was like, passed through my mind, I'm like, dude, what if it cramps so bad that I can't climb this cliff? It's like one of those where you have to use two hands too. So, man. You want to fish?
What's in here?
Some bait. I caught a ling. I let it go though.
Oh yeah.
What do you
What
want?
about you? You done?
I'm trying to fish.
You done to fish? All right.
Done to fish.
Where were you about to go?
Not back on the cliffs. I don't know.
What about right here?
All right, let's do it. Yeah.
So, yeah. I knew I recognized this guy walking from a mile away. Damn, almost died. Almost died. Oh man, haven't been to this spot in a long time. Daniel had a 22-inch keeper ling, just barely, but he let it go. Hoping that he can get something over here, but man, it's murky. 2-foot viz, that makes it really hard to fish swim baits. Oh, I don't know why I don't fish the bobber more, but I got the bobber rig, the Fisherman's Life bobber rig with about 2.5-foot leader, comes pre-tied. And I got my bobber stopper set at the end of my rod. So from the line to the bobber, that's 9'4", and then that's another maybe 3 feet. So we're going with a 13-foot depth first, and if I don't get any bites, I'll increase that depth to 16 inches. I mean 16 feet. Daniel been fishing all day since 9 o'clock. You gonna be mad if I catch one immediately? Bobber rig. I got extra if you want it. Let me know if you want to stand here because I can sit anywhere. No blacks, no blues.
Nothing, man. Crazy, huh?
Can you see the bobber out there? It started out over there and it worked its way all the way in here. You know, I'm really not even doing anything. I'm just watching it. It's so nice to just have a fishing lure or fishing option that's working for you. The waves jig it up and down. All you got to do is adjust the height. Yeah, there was a fish on there just now, but it came off. I'm going to cast in the same spot and do a slow retrieve. That way the herring will spin a bit. And we'll get some good action on it. Bro, I cast this bobber hella far so easily too. No luck with the bait, so I'm going with this 5.2-inch black and white swim bait with a 1/2 ounce jig head. Let it sink all the way down, however long it takes. All right, that didn't work, so let's try the 30-gram jiggy jig. What you thinking?
I don't know, man. I don't know what I want to try.
Still want to try here, or you can try and go somewhere else? I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I feel like conditions are going to be very similar. I was going to do the driftwood raft, but
It's supposed to be windier tomorrow.
yeah, I think I got to wait until like October, November. Feeling it on this one. I think I'm going to get one. Oh, fish on. Oh, good one. Good one, bro. On the jiggy jig. Oh, it's a good one, bro. Let's go, let's go. Man, I should really get down there. I should really get down there. I don't know if I could pull him around this side. I think I can. Yeah, dude. Oh! Dude, this is a nice cab. Blue, too. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, it's gonna rub on the rocks. Ah. All right, I gotta get down there. Ah.
Get down there, man. Get down there, dude.
Oh my God, I'm snagged up over here. That's a nice fish.
That was a nice cabby.
Careful though. Oh man, I don't know if I can get this anymore. It's coming up. Oh, it's a ling.
That's a ling. Oh, God.
Yeah, boy. Keep her ling.
That's a nice ling.
That's a nice ling.
I thought it was a cabby the way
Me too.
23?
Yeah, 23, 24.
On the jig.
On the jig. Yes. That's what we came out here for, man. On the travel rod, the 9'4", handled it like a champ. Right on, thanks for your help.
Yeah.
Nice, look at that. Beautiful lingcod. What a fish. What a fish. When you come out here fishing from the rocks, this is probably the ultimate catch in Northern California. You'll catch all kinds of rockfish, maybe a cabezon, kelp greenling. But when most people come out on the rocks, they're looking for a lingcod like this. And it's a keeper too. On the 30-gram greenling color jiggy jig. Look how the lingcod camouflages itself. It sits on the bottom of the ocean floor, a lot like this, and waits for fish or jigs to swim by, and it just attacks them. Such an ambush predator. Yeah, this one's really cool because it's got blue meat. You can tell by the underside. Bright turquoise blue meat. And it's got a full fish in its stomach too. So I'm not so sure about trout, but when it comes to ocean fish, it's always good to bleed them. So I'm gonna cut this lingcod's gills, and while its heart's beating, just let it bleed out as much as it can. Another good way to make sure all the blood gets out is to cut right at the tail. Take a look here. I cut a slit in its tail, and I'll break its spine. And you can see some blood start coming out right from there. So if you have something to hang them on, it'll drain all the blood out that way, and its heart will continue to pump blood out its lungs. You know, I don't get to come out to the ocean as much anymore, so while that lingcod bleeds out, I'm gonna go try to catch another one. With the jig, I just cast out as far as I can, literally. I wait until it hits bottom. I'm using 40-pound braid and 40-pound mono leader, by the way. I let it sink. As soon as I feel it hit bottom, I jig it up, and then when it comes up, it kind of flutters down, and a lot of times when it falls down, that's when the bites come. It's always good to have a bunch of different tackle in your arsenal, like the bobber, swim baits, jigs, and more bait. Well, this fish should be bled out nicely. I want to show you the color of its meat. If you haven't seen this blue meat before, I'm sure many of you have, but I'm sure many of you haven't. That looks like, I'm just gonna say that's a small kelp greenling, because I know these lingcod love kelp greenling. Now, crab food. So I'll cut in front of the gills, and I'll cut under all the gills, trying not to pierce the throat, because that's connected to all the intestines. So I'll kind of scrape around that, and you can see the blue meat already. Now if you're careful, right where the gills meet the head, there's some soft tissue there, and you can cut right below that, and the gills will come off. There's a lot of connective tissue down here. Just cut all that out. You can see its spine. And one way or another, I like to cut through the butt right in front of it all the way to the chest. And if you go shallow with your knife, you won't puncture any intestines or organs. This part's always a little bit tough, so if you have a serrated knife, it helps, but if you had a sharp one, that's not too bad. Go all the way up, split that fish in half. Now you can open it up and see where else you need to cut. A lot of times you can just pull it off, and there you go. A little bit more attached here. We'll just take that, cut that off. And around the butt. So there you go. You got the fish's heart, its liver, its gills, its stomach, and its intestines. And just like a salmon, most fish have that bloodline. I like to take that bloodline out. Look at that blue meat. Isn't that cool? Let's give it a rinse. Now that's a perfectly clean fish, and the only way to make it even more clean would be to do the ikijimi method. Look at that. Man, luckily the show kept going on, because if it didn't, I wouldn't have this lingcod. Let's fillet one side. I'll bring the other side back home for my family. When rigor mortis sets in, it's always nice to straighten it out as much as possible. Don't really have 3 hands, so that'll work. Pretty simple fish to fillet if you got a sharp knife. Always angle that knife all the way up as far as you can so you don't waste any meat towards the front of the head. Once you get that first cut, just right along the spine, straight as you can. As long as you cut through the skin first, it makes the job a whole lot easier. There's a little set of pin bones that runs just below that lateral line, and that also connects to the skin. So I cut through those and then I run my knife along the rib bones. Not going to get much of a cleaner fillet than that. Only doing half of a fillet, so I cut that off the fish. And I'm going to get the skin off here. All right. And I'll save the rest for the family for dinner tomorrow. Salt, pepper, garlic, onion. This has become one of my favorite things to add to almost anything. I add it to my eggs in the morning. I add it to my peanut butter jelly sandwiches, but it goes really well with fish too. It's pretty spicy, but hit up Outdoor Chef Life if you want to try it. It's good stuff. You know, every time I come out here, I'm trying to make a raft out of driftwood and take it out into the ocean, but I got to drive 4 hours to get to this spot before I can see how accurate the condition prediction really is, and today it was not accurate at all, so I made do with what I got. Ebbets Pass, Sonora Pass, all these passes up in the mountains are open now, so I'm going to be heading up to the Eastern Sierra very shortly. Lingcod is, and rockfish in general, is so good, so moist, it's so hard to overcook. This looks good. So good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Daniel approved. Still gonna try to make that driftwood video, driftwood raft, but just gotta wait until the conditions are ideal. I can't risk everything for it. Fisherman's Life Street Fair, July 13th. If you want the rod or jiggy jigs, go to fishermanslife.net. If you want to stay at my cabin, go to the link in the description. Peace.